Hey everyone, I'm Mark from Dungeon Class. Today we've got with us some guests, WallyDM from WallyDM's channel, and Fred from How to D&D, and also Josiah here from Dungeon Dad.
It's true.
Today we're talking about fun ways to use monsters, and today we're going to be talking about harpies. Yeah, harpies, those fun flying people, mostly typically depicted as ladies with hawk kind of bird faces and wings, and not to be sexist. They can sure come in both sexes, but so harpies, we know them and we love them, and they're typically go back from ancient Greek, all the way back to the Odyssey, and all the way back to when Wally used to play. And judging by the book that he carries, so that goes that goes way back. So I thought we'd start off talking about harpies, and a fun way I have of using harpies is that you might encounter them in a different situation, like desert region, or maybe they're somewhere where they live underground, which that's not, we typically see them up in the air, and they come up out of the ground and they lure people into traps with their voices. So they would lure them into, like if it's in the desert, they would create a mirage. So people go, oh, water, that's so great. And they, dying for water, and you go there and the harpy comes up out of the ground and they grab and pull them under. They have a tunnel system and all under there. That's not the typical way we see harpies. We usually see him as Gonzo says, flying death. So this is a different way, using that ability they have to lure people to their death, because that's kind of what they do. But maybe instead of just singing to them and bringing them there and then rip them apart, maybe they lure them into a trap and then maybe rip them apart. I don't know. So that's one fun way you might use it. So Wally, what do you think is a good way to, or interesting way, or how would you use a harpy?
Well, Mark, I hope you don't mind, but I do want to provide two answers.
Okay.
The first one is going to come from this book, so it's not just a prop to hide my face. I actually, something in this old Redbox D&D really inspired me many, many years ago. So during dungeon design, they have a creating dungeons section in the back of this book. And there, if you roll on a 1d6, if you roll a 6, you would put a special thing into your dungeon. And this one under Trick Monster says this applies to any variation of a listed monster, such as blah, 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 blah. And then it gets down to a mouth harpy who can't sing but plays the harmonica. So what I would like to do is I'm going to take that a step further. So I'm going to have one special harpy that the adventurers are going to encounter and not able to sing at all. It is going to be a mute harpy, but has the ability to communicate in sign language. And so through body movements and gestures with their claws or whatever else, they're able to entrance targets that way. Now, my second idea was actually a monster I submitted that was not accepted at Kobold Press, probably because it was a little bit wild, but is a variation of the harpy, a chicken harpy. So the regular harpy is vulture. This one's going to be chicken. And we all know that the siren song of the harpy is like a beautiful music. The adventurer's like, my goodness, what is that? I must follow it and find it. But this is going to be loud clucking and chirping. They're like, oh my gosh. And it'll cause psychic damage. Now, what's worse about this is they're not active at night. So we're going to put a barn out in the middle of nowhere. And if you've ever walked into a chicken coop at night and all these chickens, there's like a bar going across and they're all perched on here. So the adventurer's going to walk into this barn and they're going to look up and they're going to see all of these chicken harpies just. That's all I got for you. Chicken harpies and vulture harpies with harmonicas and sign language. That's what I got.
I'm here for the bluegrass harpies, dude.
Yeah, I'm now picturing chickens playing Bob Dylan songs as they're enticing their prey into the barn. Okay, I like it. That's good. Okay. Two great ideas. All right, love it. All right, Josiah, good luck following that one.
All right, so hear me out. Harpies, traditionally, as you mentioned, dating back to the days of ancient Greece, even very much are known for like singing that siren song that lures in traditionally sailors or but like whatever, it lures people in and then they attack them. That's like your classic harpy 101. I also was thinking, okay, what if we had harpies that didn't sing the same type of music that we're used to having them? sing. So my idea here was to have a harpy or group of harpies rather that sings really abrasive and intense, like quasi medieval death metal, right? Where you have them doing this, but the thing is, they're still trying to draw things in, but like adventurers hear that and they're like, oh man, like what the hell is that? It sounds like a goblin war band or something over there. Because they're not trying to draw adventurers in, they're not trying to draw kind folks in, they're trying to draw in like demons and devils and stuff and manipulate them into doing their bidding. So the harpies are singing this like horrible, like horrid song, but it's meant to attract even more horrible creatures that they can then manipulate with their magic into doing their bidding. So you have like this harpy death metal band who's running like a squad of bone devils or something. So like the thing that they're putting up against the party in that situation is the real threat. But if you can like kill off the harpies, then they might lose interest in the party and just frig off back to the nine hells or whatever place they came from. So it kind of creates a puzzle within the encounter where you're like, oh, we have to take out the harpies because they're controlling everybody with their Slayer-esque performance.
I love it. No, it's like they're vying for bigger fish. You know, it's like we're using these to get to the bigger thing. That'll really mess you up. Yeah, harpies. Like that idea of stuffing stuff in your ears and stuff. You're like, that's not that. But now it becomes an even bigger deal when they're dealing with a squad of demons and devils. Yeah, that's bad. That'd be very bad. Very cool. I love it. Awesome. All right, good stuff. All right, Fred, what you got?
I'm still trying to get the image out of my head. Josiah, how did you do that of a death metal harpy band?
Right.
Singing, and then as they get people get closer, they get the guitar out and do the traditional smash it up over the top of their head. Exactly. So I'm trying to get that out of my head right now. It's hard. I'm trying.
A literal great axe with strings like bound to it.
Just embrace it, Fred. Just embrace it.
Yeah,
right. I'm trying to. Okay, I'm still recovering from Wally because that made me laugh so hard. I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
So I picked a really stupid one that I think is really, really bad, and then I picked one that I think is slightly better. So I thought, well, harpies sing, make it a bard, give it a harp, stick it somewhere, and that's I don't know. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So I went with something else. Instead, I decided nightclub. Think medieval nightclub, hang out, the tavern is rocking, the lights are on, everybody's lined up, the line is going round the corner, down the street, out of town, and there's the new diva showing up, singing your pop rock music, like rock music. We know what rock music is, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not rock. It's not when you take rocks and you throw it at people and you sing at them, okay?
I don't know. Music. Nowadays, that might pass for music. I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking harpy. We're talking about diva, draws in the crowds, and then once these get everybody in there, make as much money as you possibly can, and then just move on to the next town. That's what I'm thinking. But side issue, because when you have a nightclub, you have drugs. This is at the point, Mark, that YouTube is probably going to demonetize your
video. Kids at home, don't use your harpies to buy drugs. No, just a little disclaimer.
So you draw them in with a harpy who's really good at singing rock music, and then you sell or deal in magic mushrooms, because that's the new drug out there. Purple magic mushrooms. Makes perfect sense to me. I didn't have any problem with that one. I'll be using it.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
There you go.
And D&D.
And that was the end of that video. No, very good. So we've had quite the variety here in this. We cover all the bases here in fun with monsters. You know, we've got our Bob Dylan chickens and death metal harpies and
Pat Benatar.
We have some kind of, I don't know what's this. Scarface kind of setup here where we've got divas that are trying to lure people with it's all about the drug trade and the diva harpy. This is good stuff, people. This is good stuff. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, this has been another issue of our Fun with Monsters. Thank you to our guests, WallyDM and Josiah and Fred. And with that, class dismissed.